Hey everyone, and welcome. If you've ever felt like you're just trying to keep your head above water financially, you're definitely not alone. So today, we're going to build a clear, actionable guide to help you not just survive, but actually thrive. We'll look at a really powerful way to set goals, the essential tools you're going to need, and how to build a plan that's tough enough for whatever the road ahead throws at you.
All right, first things first, let's just get a sense of the scale we're dealing with here. As of 2025, total U.S. household debt has climbed past a staggering $18 trillion. That's everything. Mortgages, student loans, credit cards, the whole shebang. It's just a massive number that kind of sets the stage for the pressure so many of us are feeling. And that pressure? Oh, it is very real. More than half of all American adults, that's 52%, are living paycheck to paycheck. You know what that means. There's almost no room for error, let alone saving for the future. It's a really tight spot that can make getting ahead feel, well, almost impossible. So that's the big question, right? In a world of rising debt and shrinking margins, how do you actually get ahead? The answer isn't some secret financial hack, I promise. It really just boils down to two fundamental things: knowing exactly where you're going and having the right tools to get there. You know that feeling, caught between rising costs and the pressure to save for the future? Well, that's what we'll call the modern squeeze. It's that feeling of being pulled in a dozen different directions financially. But honestly, understanding exactly what's squeezing you is the very first step to breaking free. So, before we even touch a budget or download an app, we need a destination. What does financial freedom actually look like for you? Because a really powerful goal turns saving from a chore into a mission. To see what I mean, let's check out a movement that has completely redefined this goal for thousands of people. Meet the FIRE movement. It stands for Financial Independence, Retire Early. Now, the core idea is pretty radical, but it's also simple. You save and invest aggressively. We're talking 50% or even more of your income for a lot of people who follow this. The whole point is to build a nest egg so large that its investment returns can cover your living expenses, letting you retire decades earlier than you ever thought possible. But look, FIRE is not a one-size-fits-all thing, and this slide shows you the central trade-off. Think of it like a seesaw, right? On one side, you've got lean FIRE, which is a more frugal lifestyle, simple living, maybe biking instead of driving. On the other side, you have fat FIRE, which is all about a more luxurious retirement with fine dining and travel. The choice you make determines the size of that piggy bank in the middle, how much you actually need to save to make it all happen. And this quote, man, it just nails it. Forget the labels, lean, fat, or anything in between. The real goal is just to get to a point where your money is working for your life, however you choose to define it. That's it. Okay, so we've got our destination, our North Star. Now we need to pack our toolkit. These are the fundamental skills, the things that build the foundation of any solid financial plan. And the very first tool is the one that gives you control, the budget. I love this way of putting it because it perfectly illustrates the power of a budget. It's not about restriction, it's about intention. A budget is your roadmap. It's for turning your income into the life you actually want by giving every single dollar a job to do. A really simple but really powerful way to start is the 50-30-20 rule. Here's how it works. 50% of your after-tax income goes to your absolute needs: housing, utilities, transportation, that stuff. Then 30% is for your wants: dining out, hobbies, entertainment. And here's the most important part. That final 20% is your get-ahead money. That's the portion that actively builds your future, whether you're paying down debt or investing. Now, before you even think about investing a single dollar, you need a safety net. That is your emergency fund. The goal is to save up 3 to 6 months' worth of essential living expenses in a separate, easy-to-access savings account. Just start small, automate it if you can, and build it up. This fund is what keeps an unexpected car repair from turning into a full-blown financial crisis. Once that safety net is in place, you're ready to start putting your money to work. And the great news is technology has made this whole thing easier than ever. Seriously, you no longer need to be some Wall Street wizard to start building a smart, diversified portfolio. So what is a robo-advisor? Well, think of it like a digital financial advisor. It uses software to ask you about your goals and how much risk you're comfortable with, and then it automatically builds and maintains a diversified portfolio for you, usually with low-cost funds. It just makes investing incredibly accessible. And there are plenty of options out there. This slide just gives you a quick snapshot of some of the top players. For example, Fidelity Go is free for balances under $25,000, which makes it a great option if you're just starting out.
Others, like Wealthfront and Betterment, charge a tiny percentage of your assets for their management. The key takeaway here is that the barrier to entry is lower than it has ever been.
The process to get started is surprisingly simple. It's not intimidating at all. You'll just answer a few straightforward questions, like what are you saving for? And how would you feel if your portfolio dropped by 10%? Your answers let the algorithm tailor an investment strategy specifically for you. It's pretty cool.
So, you've set your goal and you have your toolkit. You are ready to go. But every journey needs a map of the terrain, right? Your personal financial plan doesn't exist in a vacuum. It operates in this complex, always shifting global landscape. Understanding that landscape is absolutely key to navigating it successfully. This image, I think it perfectly captures the feeling of the current moment. It feels like we're on a new frontier, one that's filled with the incredible promise of technologies like AI, but also one marked by new economic and geopolitical pressures we really haven't seen in decades. Analysis from experts at places like JP Morgan points to three massive global shifts that are reshaping this new frontier. And these aren't just abstract economic ideas. These are forces that directly impact the cost of your groceries, the growth of your investments, and the security of your future. Let's break them down. First up, inflation. Yeah, it looks like it might stick around for a while. It's not just one thing. It's this combination of supply chain issues, strong consumer demand, and a psychological shift where businesses and people now just expect prices to rise. This slowly erodes your purchasing power over time, which makes long-term savings even more critical. Second, the AI revolution. This is a massive engine for new growth and productivity. But what's really interesting here is that this digital revolution is running smack into physical limits. The expansion of AI is literally being constrained by real-world things, like the capacity of our power grids and access to resources like water for cooling all those data centers. And finally, global fragmentation. For decades, the whole goal of global trade was finding the cheapest place to make something. Now, the focus is shifting from pure efficiency to resilience and security. Countries want to secure their supply chains, which means bringing production closer to home. Now, this makes our access to goods more reliable, for sure, but it also makes those goods more expensive. So here's the bottom line. Your financial journey is deeply personal, but the terrain you're traveling on is being reshaped by these powerful global forces. The question to leave you with is not just, do I have a plan, but is my plan built to withstand the pressures and seize the opportunities of this new world?